Hello everyone, checking in on the big three. Bitcoin continues to steal the show from everybody else, and it is continuing to hit new all-time highs. We are on our fifth green day in a row, actually the sixth green day, now that we have rolled over just about 2 hours ago. So it is 5 big green days in a row and the start of a sixth green day, and the RSI does not matter at this point because we are in blue sky breakout, and the lack of any resistance makes it really easy for the bulls to run right through it. You can see this RSI. Looking back, when was the last time it was this high? It's been a lot higher, so keep that in mind. Daily RSI here has gotten up to the low 90s, and the most recently we were up in the low 80s or the upper 80s, and here we are just in the low 80s right now. So we know historically it can absolutely keep running up at these levels. The only thing is when I look back and I look at the magnitude of this move, and I see where in the past have we seen a significant move to the upside. We did have a couple stretches here with 6 to 8 green days in a row, but certainly with these huge follow-through candlesticks, which obviously are a bit skewed by the y-axis here, but we're extended to the upside. There's no doubt about that. So there's no sign of slowdown right now. We've had a couple little near signals and some fake outs, but the bulls are in full control, and I'm currently holding a position of Bitcoin. I will be very quick to lock in any profit because I am not going to be buying. I'm not going to be holding up at the top here. And when we do pull back, I do believe that we will pretty easily see a 20% pullback. And it's not going to be, an all-out crash or bubble or anything like that. For me, the whole bubble mindset, I was absolutely not convinced that it was going to happen, but I was well aware that that was a possibility when we were trading up around 3,000 back here. And so I was always very, very cautious because I have seen bubbles pop in the US MJ sector. It's happened multiple times, and you obviously don't want to be holding when that happens. So you just want to be very careful. The fact that we pulled back this significantly and we had all the drama around the split and all that, we recovering and hitting a new all-time high was very, very significant for me in terms of having this established as a more long-term move that is more sustainable due to this significant consolidation we saw. So anytime we go straight up, this is an unsustainable move. The MACD is separating from the lines here. Whenever we get that far separated, that signals unsustainable to me. So when we see this kind of move, we haven't really established a ton of support on the way up, so it's very easy to drop all the way down. The last support on the daily time frame established was 32.32, so that's over $1,000 to the downside. That's why I say a 20% pullback will be pretty easy for the bears to jump on when that does happen. That's only just under 4,000 from where we currently stand. That's actually only 10%, so it would go down to about 3,600. Which again would still be a higher low. It would still keep the bulls in full control. So we'll see. Once the pullback starts, everybody always looks for targets, but I have to see what kind of volume is on the pullback before I'm able to gauge how significant of a pullback it is going to be. So zooming into the 4-hour time frame, just as strong. There's a base of support, so you don't see that on the daily time frame, which is why it's important to be looking at all these different time frames and zooming in for more details. So this most recent consolidation low was 38.50. Then we got 4,000 psychological, and we built a little mini base of support here at 42.05 right there. And the bulls are seeing continuation. Again, RSI not as significant, doesn't mean as much here. On the hourly time frame, just built a base of support so we can find another support level, a little double low down here, 4,200 on the dot and 42.05. So there's that level, and we're still very strong. We're forming an inside bar on the hourly time frame, and if we were to form an inside hourly bar and then break it, I would absolutely be out of that position just because I don't want to be, like I said, don't want to be holding at the top. So we are seeing Ethereum and Litecoin still struggle a bit, but you look at Ethereum's daily chart and where we're coming from and the reversal of the trend here, the fact that we got this little higher low and higher high reverses the lower high and lower low consolidation that we were in for a very significant amount of time. So I should say significant amount of time relative to such small time frames. All of this has happened in 2017. It's really a month. So the fact that the bulls got that higher high is significant, and the consolidation that's going on right now is very healthy. There is nothing wrong with this consolidation. Again, this is the kind of move that's not sustainable. The MACD got too separated from these lines here, and we have to pull back and consolidate normal and healthy, just like Bitcoin is going to do, in my opinion, in the near-term future as well. And in terms of if I had to pick a top for Bitcoin, I would say that it is going to be hit sometime in the next 12 hours, tonight through tomorrow morning, which is why I'm extra cautious up here. And that's, again, more of a guess. I'd put the odds in that favor, but I'm not going to be trying to make that significant of a guess because that's not enough odds in my favor. I'm admitting that I'm guessing, and not enough odds in my favor for me to be confident putting large sums of money on that. So healthy consolidation for Ethereum. Support is down here at 287. That's the low of this pullback that we've seen so far. Couple inside bars forming on the daily time frame. We know those inside bars have given nice signals in the past. And from here, we have to be watching for a break of 287, because if that does break, then we know our consolidation is not over. Whenever we start consolidating, I'm always looking for signals that the bulls have proven that their higher low of support has been established. And that is not the case. If we look back here at an example of Ethereum, here's our bull move. Consolidation, looking for our higher low to be established. That's some solid volume. That's a big bullish reversal candlestick. So I can start to believe that the bulls are establishing a higher low. Didn't see follow through the next day, so I'm more skeptical. And then the bulls still maintain some support. And then this candlestick right here, that's the volume and the little higher high over this bullish reversal candlestick that has me way more confident as soon as these resistances broke that this is our higher low now established. So I'm looking for that here on this consolidation as well, and I don't see it yet. We're still too weak. The 4-hour time frame has been pulling out back. It's a bit toppy. You could put a support line here and see that we did break a couple supports, but again, holding up very well on the daily time frame, and this is still healthy consolidation even on the 4-hour. The hourly time frame pulling back in some pretty defined channels. You could draw some support lines to be watching, but again, I'm more likely to be watching the price action. That's a pretty good downtrend line right there, and the support, the lowest price we pulled back from, and we'll see if we break this lower high pattern. But there has to be volume behind this lower high pattern, because again, Bitcoin has all the attention. And when you're seeing these kind of gains and all-time highs and no resistance, as a trader, you would always rather be in the blue sky breakout name. Sometimes I quickly flip around and play an oversold bounce, even though the name's still in blue sky breakout. But I'm always going to be leaning towards picking that blue sky name over anything that is not blue sky breakout. It's just a completely different scenario, and it's a different game. And that's when these RSI indicators go out the window, and we just see a lot of powerful bull volume and money coming in. So for Ethereum, short-term support, looking at 295.20, and resistance, I'm looking up at 302.62. That's a tight range I'm watching right there. Litecoin's even tighter. This is the daily time frame for Litecoin, and it too, there was a potential bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern, and the fact that we held this support and then broke the lower high was a very big-time move for the bulls, because that really affirmed a lot of strength. So resistance was 47.93, and we did get that higher high. Now we're consolidating as well. It looks like the start of that Ethereum consolidation, but this has already been going on for 4 days. So it's a 4-day head start of consolidation. And the same thing, I'm looking for that higher low to be established. We have a couple inside bars on the daily time frame, very close to a bear break there, and a bear MACD cross. So I'm not liking this action right now, but because we did get this higher low and higher high, I am in the mindset that we're looking for another higher low to be established for the bulls to keep control on this daily time frame. So at this point, that support is 44.05, but there's a battle going on at 45 right now, and we're close to a bear break as I'm doing this. So this support level, holding a bunch of attempts, it held back here on August 6th. A clear downtrend resistance line, rejecting a few bounce attempts. It's a descending triangle pattern, and we're very close to a bear break, so we're looking down at 44.05, and then I'm looking down in the upper 42s from there before we get the next support besides psychological levels. So Litecoin is the weakest of the three still. That was the story the last time I made the video. This is the hourly time frame, and every bull move, there's just not a lot of follow-through. So right now, I'm in Bitcoin, so I don't like either of these other names, and I'm almost watching for oversold bounces. The 4-hour RSI, if we see a dump here on LTC, then I'll look to play an oversold bounce. It's been a while since we've had one of those with the bulls in control, but as of right now, certainly not going against Bitcoin, just riding the wave, and I am in and out more often as I'm playing with my whole position and want to be, not have to stress about what's going on, because we do see significant drops in the short term. Here we had a drop from 43.10, and 15 minutes later, we're down at 4,200. So if you are playing with a decent stack, that's thousands of dollars that just dropped in 15 minutes. So obviously, that's why we want to avoid that, and that's why whenever I am playing with my whole stack, I want to be watching to be able to prevent against that, essentially. So that's what we've got heading into tomorrow. Bitcoin, I do believe our top is almost in, but even then, that daily chart could consolidate and form, a little one-day breather like we had back here before the second leg, or this most recent leg, got really going here. So this little consolidation, we could, pull another one of those. Not saying that's not going to happen, but we just need to calm down just a bit. We got the volume here topping out. We hit our highest volume. And although we did see continuation, the volume is now dropping off a little bit. So that's almost like looking at acceleration of a vehicle. And we were accelerating with strength heading forward, and now we're decelerating a little bit, the bull's momentum perhaps slowing. But we'll have to see how this next day goes. And again, there's no signal right now. There was almost a fake out on the hourly time frame, and I was watching, it was actually the 15-minute time frame, and I drew it out here, this potential bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern. And at that point, I was watching support right here. This was where my support line was, because we had a couple candlesticks close right on that level. So I saw the left shoulder form, the right shoulder, or the head, and then the right shoulder. And I posted this pattern as a heads up. We might be in for a bear break. And we did drop down here. But before the candlestick closed, this low of consolidation was at 4,200 psychological round number. And we held that level. And then the bulls bought that dip before the candlestick closed. They closed right on that line. And then they really turned it right around and hit a new all-time high. So that was a very close bear break, where that would have had me take a step back from Bitcoin and not mess with it much more tonight because of that break if that had happened. So that was another really nice save by the bulls, just barely. It held by $5 and seeing a significant follow through. So that was very close to a bear signal, but didn't follow through. Bitcoin bulls in full control, very cautious up at these levels, and looking for a top to be set sometime in the next 12 hours. So that's what we've got. I appreciate you watching, and we'll check back in the near term future.